Hey everybody, Jake here from Bearded Gear, and I have a very, very different video to do for you today. Rivers Edge Cutlery, who is full of my friends at this point. I love Rivers Edge Cutlery. If you haven't noticed that, then I don't know whose channel you've been watching. They are doing a giveaway right now. So in their newsletter, which went out on the 31st of July, they showed this. This is me reposting it on my Instagram. So the the giveaway is an interesting thing. And so we're going to do a little bit of a story time with Jake from Bearded Gear, because the way to win requires the deciphering of this story that's included in their newsletter. And I was talking to a buddy of mine. I've actually chatted with a couple people about it. But my friend Mike, who's in the Millie PM2 Pair 3 Club with me, and now we chat on Instagram every now and then as well. I don't know what is happening here. He recommended, he said, why don't you make a video reading the story so that people can have another opportunity, maybe hear it in a different voice. I don't know. And it's an interesting thing, so I figured why not give it a shot. If you're expecting a knife to pop out at some point in this video, it's not going to happen. Don't watch this if that's the kind of video you're looking for. This is going to be real different, but I really like the guys over at Rivers Edge Cutlery. I think they're great. They've been great to me, and I thought this was an interesting idea. So we're going to see how it goes, but I am going to read to you the letter, the story, I don't know what you want to call it. Let me read to you quick first the post of how it says to enter so that this makes sense. It says, Rivers Edge Cutlery, when your choice, either the new Rec PM2, which is coming soon, it'll ship upon arrival if that's what you pick, which is the flat dark earth, PVD coated blade, OD green, handle scales, black hardware, and it's CTS 204P blade steel, same as the Rec Pair 3, but now in a PM2, which is coming soon. Or you can choose the Benchmade 9400 Osborne, which is the automatic version of the Benchmade 940. So, two very good options. In my opinion, you should definitely pick that PM2, because it's going to be really hard to get when it does come out, and I vastly prefer the PM2 to the 940. But anyway, it says, look for details in the Rivers Edge newsletter, subscribe or find online under news and reviews. So then you go to the newsletter, and it has this whole story that you're supposed to read. And let me scroll back up so I can tell you what it says on here. So you have to read the story at the bottom of the newsletter. Then you have to successfully identify the speaker/main character of the story using the clues provided. And it, in parentheses, says it has to be the specific first name. Submit your character identification entry to contest@riversedgecutlery.com, and then the winner will be chosen at random from the participants who correctly identify the character. So, as I read this story, be thinking of who could possibly be the main character in this story, and I currently have no idea. I've read it a couple of times. I am at a loss. So, let's figure it out together, shall we? I'm just going to jump in. So this one time, I received an urgent call for assistance from my childhood friend, Blanchette. It seems her small farm on the edge of Austria's Black Forest had been overrun by a trio of wild boar. Uprooting her crops and trampling her garden, they had proven to be more than just pests. Whenever she attempted to defend her land, they simply receded, mockingly, back into the forest. I purchased my plane ticket to Bavaria, packed my Vertex 5018 Gamut Checkpoint Zero Dark Navy backpack, and headed for the airport. As I stood in line at the gate, I couldn't help but be amused by the fellow ahead of me. Apparently, there had been some misunderstanding with security, as he was hustled off to a side room. I heard him exclaim, "Strip what?" I gave the security agent a knowing look and a "Psh, noobs," and then laid my Holtzbrook Annaby hatchet 20-inch and my Benchmade 9400 Osborne on the conveyor belt as I stepped through the metal detector. After nearly 9 hours of unspeakable unpleasantness, I had acquired a sore posterior, a newfound respect for TSA thoroughness, and one new dear friend. I was then allowed to check my backpack and board the plane. As we descended through the dreary rain clouds into Salzburg International Airport, I prepared myself to meet a friend I hadn't seen for many years. A bit of an insecure, ugly duckling. It had taken all of my assertiveness, charm, and bravado to win her over. And until we parted company, we were truly inseparable. As I stood in baggage claims, I was tapped on the shoulder. Turning, I saw the clasp of a crimson cloak, and looked up to see Blanchette removing her hood. The memories flooded back of our childhood days, riding on her shoulders, being hoisted into the branches of our tree fort, watching her fight off my bullies, hanging me off the dock by my ankles to check the fish traps, and even the joy of our graduation day, where she flung me into the air along with my cap. Ah, good times. After the short drive back to her home, we settled in and reminisced for the evening before turning in for the night. It would be a big day tomorrow. As dawn broke, I awoke to find her sitting on the edge of my bed with a grin on her face. Taking note of my puzzled look, she reached under the bed and brought out my Capello Alpino and Lederhosen from our early days. "Up and at 'em," she said. Why she kept them, I'll never know, but I was amazed and quite proud that they still fit. After a quick breakfast, we packed our gear and set off for Black Forest. As we left, her neighbor's son, Peter, gave a stern warning that we should beware of the wolves. Noting my concerned look, Blanchette replied, "Don't worry, it's nothing. He says that all the time." It wasn't long before we discovered the trail of our quarry and tracked a single boar into a large grass stand, where it had bedded for the night. Retrieving my fat wood fire steel, I was able to create an ember, and after much blowing and panting on my tinder, created enough smoke to fool the boar into thinking the grass was on fire, and it ran out into the arms of Blanchette, who quickly hogtied it, ending its reign of terror. A short ways away, we found yet another trail, and came upon a second boar, who had bedded down in a wooden brush pile. Once again, out came the fat wood fire steel, and soon this boar was dispatched as quickly as its brother. The third boar, however, proved to be more problematic. It had nested down in a stone cave that was as hard as brick. No matter how much smoke we blew into the cave, he would not come out. We decided to take a break and eat our Landjäger. Don't know if I'm saying that right. As we pondered our dilemma, retrieving my Jagdstuck from my pack, I placed it on a nearby tree to wake us from a short nap. It was then that I saw the shadowy figure in the brush. We were being stalked by a very large wolf with very bad intentions. We backed slowly to a nearby tree, and Blanchette pushed me up onto a branch before scrambling up herself. The wolf lunged at us again and again, but out of reach. We were safe for the moment. With a sigh of relief, I reached to straighten my Capello Alpino and lost my balance. Nearly falling into the open jaws of the wolf, I was saved momentarily as my Lederhosen caught on a snag and left me dangling inches from a horrible death. At my request, Blanchette, who had managed to grab my pack before leaping into the tree, handed me my Phoenix PD-35 tack light and Benchmade 9400 Osborne knife. Suspended by my Lederhosen, the wedgie was unbearable. I activated my light and blinded the wolf before slicing my suspenders, allowing me to fall free. By blinding the wolf, I figured I'd have enough time to join the boar in the cave, but as luck would have it, no longer in control of the ride height of my shorts, my Lederhosen crashed to my ankles, and I tumbled to the ground, a victim of my own fashion sense. Losing no time, the wolf pounced, clawed feet pinning my shoulders to the ground, hot breath in my face, white daggers of teeth inches from my neck. It was now or never. If Blanchette were to save me, now was the time. I heard her leap from the tree, and the clop of her size 14 feet hitting the ground hard. Running at full tilt, she pulled her K-bar forged wrench knife, 425 high-carbon stainless steel, and leapt upon this villainous she-wolf. Landing square on the wolf's back, she let out a mighty warrior's yell, and raising her arms above her head in preparation to plunge her knife into the wolf's neck, she suddenly rolled off her back and onto the ground while laughing hysterically. It was then that the wolf's vicious snarl turned to a grin, and suddenly I recognized Capitolina, my old friend and surrogate mother, who had raised my sister and I from infants until we were 7 years of age, when we were adopted by Weresmine Lederhosen. And, wait, what? Fine, just forget it. So, I don't know about you, but I'm more confused who could possibly be the main character of this story, the deeper that I get into it. So, let me know in the comments if you think you figured it out, Maybe don't share with everybody if you do know the answer, so that you can be one of the few who emails them and says who it is, so that you can win one of these knives. I don't know. I would love to know if someone thinks that they know who that is supposed to be. I have several ideas, none of which actually make any sense particularly. So I've got some work to do to decipher that myself, so that I can go ahead and submit my answer to the guys at Rivers Edge Cutlery. But anyway, if you did watch this strange, totally different, very weird video, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time, and hopefully it was in some way entertaining to hear me read that, whatever it was. Anyway, this has been fun. Good luck to everybody who is attempting to enter this giveaway. May we all figure it out somehow. Alright guys, I appreciate it. I will see you on the next one.